Hi everyone, it's me, Christina. We're here in my kitchen. I'm gonna do some baking today. This recipe that I'm gonna make has been requested many times by my friends, my viewers here on YouTube, I think on Instagram, maybe even Facebook. It is poppy seed squares, and this recipe here is very old. If I tell you how old, it's totally gonna age me. But this is my mother's recipe since I've been born, so let's just say it's 50 plus years old. I have all the ingredients right here in front of me. I'll turn the camera around and I'll show you what they are. All right, so this recipe is the cake side and the filling side. So there's the filling. It's 5 ingredients: flour, almond flour, butter, baking powder, eggs, and sugar. Then for the filling is poppy seeds, which I put in this grinder. So there's the ground poppy seeds. Raisins or currants. I don't have raisins, I'm going to use currants. 2 apples that I'm going to peel and grate. Vanilla sugar, icing sugar, some people call it powdered sugar. Yes, this recipe has sugar in it. Some apricot jam, milk, and cream of wheat, and a little bit of rum. I'm going to mix 1/2 cup of butter and 1/3 cup of sugar. Now that the sugar and the butter has been mixed, out of these 3 eggs, I'm going to add 2 egg yolks and then mix it, and then 1 egg. And now I'm going to mix the 1 egg. Then I'm going to mix in the almond flour. I'm going to add the flour, baking powder. I'm going to mix this a little bit first with the spoon, the spatula, and then I'm going to use the beaters. I'm not going to mix it too much with the beaters because I don't want the batter overmixed. I probably only mixed it for say 10-15 seconds because I don't want to overbeat the dough. Now I have to take the dough and spread it in this pan. I think this is about an 8-inch, 9-inch pan, square pan. The dough is really sticky, so I need to use this spoon here, kind of dip it in the flour, and I'm going to be pressing it down. And the reason I use the flour on the spoon is so the dough doesn't keep sticking to the spoon. I switched pans. I think this one here on the right is a 9-inch square pan. This one is smaller, it's the 8-inch. So I'd rather use the smaller one because when I press the dough in, I like the dough to be a little bit thicker. So in my pan, I laid down some parchment paper, and then I rubbed a little bit of butter on it. And that's in this spoon, that's why I have to tap it in the flour, and that allows me to spread the dough. Otherwise it just would be one sticky mess and I couldn't spread it to the sides of the pan. You're probably wondering too, when I said I like my dough to be thicker, that's because when I bite into it, I like lots of dough. And if I were to use the bigger pan, then I'd have to spread the dough more and have it thinner. And my mom always used the bigger pan. She liked the thinner dough. I like the thicker dough. Now I'm going to put this in the oven. It's been preheated at 325 degrees for 30 minutes. I'm going to take my milk and put it on the stove and make it scalding hot. Okay, so I took the milk off the stove. It's nice and hot. I don't know why we heat the milk up first. It's just the way that my mom did it, and that's why I do it. So to this now, I'm going to add the poppy seed. I haven't measured this, but I'm going to be putting in here 2 1/3 cups of poppy seed. Then I'm going to put cream of wheat, the currants. Now the recipe says 1 1/2 cups of powdered sugar. That's a bit sweet for me. I'm only using 1 cup of powdered sugar. There's my grated apples. That's 2 apples grated. And I'm going to put vanilla sugar in. If you don't have vanilla sugar, I'm sure you can use vanilla extract. I'm not going to put this whole package in. Again, this is kind of sweet. So I'm going to dump all of that in this pot. Oh, can't forget the rum. The recipe says a tablespoon. I usually don't measure. I just pour in a little bit of rum. And now this is going to go on the stove, and I'm going to cook it for about 5 minutes to a very gentle boil. So it's kind of like, you know, sloppy and runny right now. But once this comes to a boil for about 5 minutes, the cream of wheat in here will thicken this up. I also forgot to mention, I just don't leave it here now and come back 5 or 10 minutes later. I will come back, you know, I'll leave it for about a minute and then I'll come back, and I'm continually stirring it. So it's been about 5 minutes. It's a nice gentle boil going on. So now I'm going to remove it from the stove and let it cool. Here's my cake. There's my filling. I'm going to let it cool because remember all that mess? I'm going to go clean that mess up, and then by that time the filling and the cake will be cooled. Then here, this apricot jam, I think this was my mother's idea. It wasn't the original recipe. She liked using jam in so many of her recipes. I'm going to take this jam and I'm going to spread a layer all over the cake, and then I'm going to put the filling on top and then bake it again. Oh my goodness. See how much poppy seed I have? See how thick it is? Oh, I love this. Not a lot of people like that much poppy seed so thick, but I do. So I'm going to spread this all out evenly, and it's going back in the oven, 45 minutes at 300. It's out of the oven. It's already cooled for several hours. So good, so moist, so delicious. Now, my husband's not a huge poppy seed fan, so that means this whole thing is for me, but I don't want to eat the whole thing right away. This freezes really good. So I will cut these in little slices and put it in this glass container, and then I put it in the fridge because this tastes, well, for me anyways, I like it. I like eating this cool out of the fridge. I mean, if I was having company tonight, I would serve it like this on a plate. The rest I will cut up in squares and put it in this plastic container. There is some wax paper in here. I'll cover it up and I'll put the lid on and stick it in the freezer. And whenever I want a bite, after these guys are gone, then I have that. So I am going to cut these up and put them on a plate. See what I mean about lots of cake and lots of poppy seed? It's so good. And my mother used to put some powdered sugar on. And voila. Bon appetit, my friends. Well, there you go. That is my mama's poppy seed square cake. This is my second piece now. I know it's really bad, but the rest is going in the freezer. I also like to make a poppy seed strudel, and you mix it sort of the same filling, except the pastry is more like pie type pastry, and you add a little bit of ground walnuts in it. All right, everyone, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.